Okay, I'm here with pitcher Homer Bailey from the Cincinnati Reds, and he's from Grange, Texas, which is in between Houston and Austin, and I'm a very proud fellow native of Grange, Texas. So, Homer, after you threw your second no-hitter on July 2nd, I actually went to Grange and interviewed your parents and your high school coach, so that was a great story. The town was still buzzing. What has that meant to you to leave such a great legacy there in that hometown?
Well, let's see, you've got a ZZ Top song and a Dolly Parton movie going for you, so it's good to get on something a little different.
Some stiff competition there for you. Now, what does it mean for you? Because obviously the Astros and the Reds used to be in the same division, and you guys used to come back here and play a lot. So you've been able to play in front of friends and family a lot over the years. How special is that to come back and play so close to home?
I think being home is always the best thing. I've been here probably like 12 times. I've only thrown here twice, so it was always kind of a running joke how I always missed Houston. But the good thing is we usually have an off day like we do tomorrow, so I get to go home for a day and just kind of wind down the gears for 24 hours.
And you're missing your start here again in Houston. What does it mean to you to be able to go back to Grange like that, especially during the season, and kind of just chill out for a bit?
It's kind of the saying, home is where the heart is. And growing up there, I'm still there quite a bit in the off season before I moved to Austin to start working out. But just to be there and how quiet it is, and kind of, as kind of a slower paced kind of atmosphere as opposed to jumping on planes every other day going from city to city. So it's kind of nice to just get there and relax.
And your parents live, I said isolated country home was what I called it. They live out in the middle of nowhere. It's obviously a big deal to make it to the majors, but obviously, and from a small town, how special and how big has that journey been for you over the years?
I mean, it's a big adjustment. I mean, you go from a town with about 4,000 people to, you're constantly in bigger cities. So it's an adjustment, but it's probably the same for everybody. I never thought of it as an advantage or a disadvantage. So, I mean, it's just kind of the same as everybody else.
It was so great to speak with your dad after your second no-hitter. He was still very emotional the day after. But how have your no-hitters changed your life?
I get paid more to sign stuff now. That's pretty cool. That's a
great thing.
That's about the only way it affects me.
Does it give you more confidence, or how does it?
I've always been pretty confident. I mean, those were one game. I mean, what's the difference between a no-hitter and a broken bat single? I think you just have to be realistic about the whole thing. And, both of those nights I had a, phenomenal night. Very fortunate. I mean, had definitely on my game that night. Both those nights, sorry. I don't really think it's that cool now. I think one day looking back, and the only reason I say that is because, after the no-hitter, I've got to start in 4 days. I can't stay, on a phenomenal game that I may not ever be able to repeat. So I think during the season and right now, and I think as long as I'm playing, to me they're just kind of another game. Now, I mean, I've got a lot of memorabilia and stuff from it, and I remember the thing that made me the happiest about all that stuff is talking to my parents afterwards and how happy they were, and seeing my teammates' faces and how happy they were. So that to me brought me more joy than the actual games themselves. Seeing everybody else how happy they were. But I just, we're always going, and you're always looking at your next start or your next bullpen or whatever it is. So I've never really had a chance to just sit down and dwell on them too much.
What baseball team did you grow up a fan of?
I was a fan of the Astros. Being younger, I still remember going to the old Astrodome and seeing the terrible colors that they used to wear.
The terrible colors. Everyone loves those colors.
That's not true. Those are the orange, rainbow. Nah, that's not so good. But I was also a Braves fan. I think mainly because they were always on TV on TBS. So probably the Astros and Braves, and it was always kind of bad timing because it seems like the Braves were always beating the Astros in the playoffs. Yeah. So yeah, those are kind of the teams that I watched. I mean, I still remember coming here when this place first opened, in 2000, and then being on the field in 2001 after we won state, got recognized on the field like a lot of high school teams do, and it just so happens that the Astros were playing the Cincinnati Reds that day. Yeah. So kind of a weird coincidence there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then who was your favorite baseball player growing up? Who did you look up to?
Probably the one I watched the most. Like I said, some of the Braves guys, they're pitching, and obviously I was a pitcher. Roger Clemens was a big kind of influence on me. He's a guy who I keep in touch with, get different pointers from. He was a guy I liked watching. Obviously everybody liked watching Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz when they were in their heyday, but I always admired watching, the power pitchers.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck. We're very proud of you back in Grange and from Central Texas as well. Good luck.
Thank you very much.